All right, Chef Marcus is still
going strong.
Hanging tight, huh?
Yeah.
I love it.
Getting through it.
What do we got over here? We got a basket of veg.
Yeah, basket of veg that are, I like to spend a little bit of time chopping up different shapes and, changing that up every week, but this is just gonna get stir fried. Yeah, great addition to a little bit of meat and starch for every single meal. Cool.
So we're staying on the lines of meal prep, guys. It's all gonna come together at the end. Hang around. Up next is our stir fried veg. All right, Marcus, show me what's up, man. What do you want to start with?
Let's just grab these zucchini and we'll start to chop them up. I'm just gonna go with my style over here, and then I'm gonna compare to what you do and see what you have at the end of this. I wanna say that it was zucchini last week that I got nicked on my finger.
Oh, okay, when you were...
Yeah, so I'm gonna be a little bit more delicate today. And then maybe one of these guys.
Ooh. Is this kind of like therapeutic for you? Do you enjoy?
That's exactly how I tell people about it. I'm like, when I'm chopping vegetables, more so than anything else, just, I don't know. I feel like it totally gets me in the zone. I did have like a moment when I was in medical school and I was transitioning away from I realized that I wasn't going to do medicine for my career. And I was kind of at like I don't know, I call it like a breaking point, but I was like, I just need to get into something totally different. And I really was strongly considering going into like culinary school. And
really?
Switching completely from like the health science, health and fitness world over to, cooking. And didn't know exactly where that was going to land me, but I really had a strong pull towards it. My brother's girlfriend at the time was a chef. And so she seemed to really enjoy the lifestyle, and I don't know. That was like, again, my big Food Network days, so I was feeling it. I think just if you have good experiences with like food growing up, and that's just it can be such like a, I don't know, really homey, connected feeling, and like so many good memories for me. Should we do some of these peppers now?
And what happened? What was the food situation growing up? Did you guys, your parents were good cooks, or?
No, not particularly. I mean,
had his own
yeah,
program.
they do have their own program, but I just think that like with my grandparents, my grandmother, she was this great cook, this great Italian cook, and whenever they would come to town, and we would have these just like great family meals, I don't know, I was just really. Food was always something that felt really good to me growing up with my family, and then once I got into my own cooking, my like early 20s, and cooking for my family and experimenting with all different types of food, I just saw like how much it could bring people together and be like a relaxed time, and then I think the other big part of it for me was like getting connected to the ingredients that I was cooking with and going to like farmers markets, and then like my ideal Sunday was go to the farmers market, buy a bunch of fresh stuff, maybe go to the gym, maybe play a little golf, come back in the afternoon, start prepping for dinner, and then cooking something for my family or friends or whoever was around. And I don't know, I mean, I guess that's not exactly the life of somebody who's working in the food industry. It's a little less glamorous than that, but that's the kind of feeling that I was like, oh, can I recreate this every day of my life and get paid to do it? That would be so great.
That was kind of before you got into competitive fitness. Is that how you refer to it?
Yeah, that's pretty much the time where I was like not doing competitive fitness. I was just a recreational exerciser. I'd done some college sports, played college soccer, but I hadn't really found like my passion for competing in fitness, and then certainly a career in fitness yet. But it kind of transitioned around that time. It was like after medical school, I got into moved back home, trying to kind of land on my feet. What's my next step? Was I going to kind of go back into the health sciences somewhere else, or was I going to try something in fitness? And it was like when I got connected with a local CrossFit affiliate and started training there and coaching there. Why don't we do some of this?
Broccoli.
And
where was that?
That's in down in San Rafael, California. So I was yeah, my parents, live in Marin County. So I moved home and started working out at this gym called TJ's Gym, which was the gym that I worked out at. And then I ended up owning one of the affiliates there. CrossFit Mill Valley, TJ's Gym Mill Valley was my box for a number of years.
Okay.
And that's where I kind of found my stride as a competitive exerciser. Which turned out to be really, I do, yeah. I mean, people
kind of joke about it.
We joke about it a little bit, but it's it's true. It's like we're training, we're doing something that a lot of people only see as exercise, and they see as like a way to make them healthier and more, fit. And here we're doing it at kind of a higher level that ends up becoming sport, and people are interested in watching.
Yep.
How are my chopping skills doing here?
You look great, dude. You look great. I like it, what I'm seeing. Do you cut the ends off of these, or how do you?
Usually yes, I do.
Off,
I do like to cut them off. I am not a fan of getting a big stem in my mouth. Those don't go down so well.
Do you know the French term for this one? The haricots verts, they call it.
Whoa. So how I was going to pronounce that was not going to sound like that at all.
But same spelling, right?
Same spelling, yeah.
China brought that up earlier. She's called it haricots verts or something like that.
That sounds like how most Americans would probably pronounce that if they saw it.
More? How many do you think?
I'm thinking maybe just
a handful.
I think once we get these, that'll be pretty good.
Okay.
I'm gonna fill up this pan, and I'd just like to not fill up the pan too much.
It's overcrowded.
It's overcrowded, right?
Did you feel pressure to go into the medical field because your dad, or?
I wouldn't call it pressure. I mean, nobody ever said like, "Hey, you have to go do this," but the way I describe it to people is like growing up in a household of medical professionals. My mom and my dad are both in the medical field. My brother was in the medical field, and just seeing them enjoy what they do for work.
Cool.
And that's the career path that provided the lifestyle that, I grew up in, which I really came to know and love and appreciate. Plus on top of that, I was actually pretty good at at math and science and the health sciences. Like, I had a knack for it. It wasn't a struggle for me to do well in chemistry and math and biology. So it kind of just made sense. But it's like getting on that path of just doing something without actually putting thought to like, okay, how do I see this in my life in the future? Mm-hmm. I'm doing it because what's around me, it's sort of telling me that I should do it. But do I really want to be in this field?
And then what? Did you decide that you didn't?
Yeah, I think when I got into medical school, I realized that my passion was going to be more around working with people on, health care, preventative health care. And not to say that being a doctor means you don't work on preventative health care. It's just that so much of what I know can help people feel better on a day-to-day basis happens here and in the gym, and that was what really got me excited.
Cool.
So
I like
that's where I ended up. Yeah.
And probably the majority of doctors are overwhelmed with the, treatment of instead of the prevention of.
Yeah, I mean, it's the medical community is not really set up for doctors to be able to, prescribe exercise and nutrition in a way that's meaningful. They can tell you, hey, you got to exercise and eat right and lose a little bit of weight. That's going to help what you have.
Right.
But then it's like, well, who's implementing that?
How does that look?
Yeah, exactly.
And do you follow like the exercise as medicine kind of stuff that's going on, or like?
I don't.
CrossFit, I think they're trying to get exercise described as medicine, so that way they can regulate it. I think like Coke and some of the big industry people are behind that.
Yeah, that sounds like it's not good.
So
that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Can I borrow your spoon?
Sure.
Thank you.
So a little bacon fat going in here, just to be all right?
I've just found bacon fat to be such a good cooking fat because it adds flavor, and because we make bacon regularly, every couple weeks or every week, and there's always a ton of extra
use it, right?
oil,
it's
right?
Total utilization. is the goal. You know, we paid for that. It's right there. Why, you know, a lot of people throw it out or whatever.
Right,
but
and
it's
actually
just such a
bacon
good-
fat is like got a really good fatty acid profile in terms
Does
of
it?
like health. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of monounsaturated fatty acids in there. So
I
people are always
love-
reaching for plant-based oils, and I'm like, oh, animal fats are actually super healthy, and if you're using them in your cooking, you know, you're cutting down on your omega-6 fatty
Right.
acid profile.
Yep.
Yeah.
From the veggies.
Yeah.
Plant or animal-based fats don't have omega-6.
As high, yeah.
Or it's
generally.
based off of their diet, right?
It's
Isn't
based
that
off
how-
of their
yeah,
diet. So if
yep.
you're buying and you're sourcing good, you know, animal products, you're getting good fat profiles.
Love it, dude. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. What are you thinking? You like to preheat?
A little
Good
bit,
amount, or-
yeah. I mean, I think these things are pretty powerful, so that's pretty
Yeah.
hot. It's already smoking a little bit. But I don't know, I usually start with like the ones that are gonna take a little longer to,
Densest, broccoli? You
yeah,
wanna go with
broccoli
that?
probably. It's gonna go in. And then I'd go probably with the beans next. And
Little salt, or what do you?
yeah,
just
I'm a
use it
big
tomorrow?
salt and pepper guy as I'm going through this, and then save the tamari for the end.
I know you mentioned to me that like you have this equal parenting goal. You guys are both kind of splitting that.
Yeah.
Where does your future of competitive fitness? Where does that begin? Is there one, or what are your thoughts on that right now?
So I'm 33, and with the introduction of like the 35-year-old
Yeah.
Masters division, I've kind of set my sights on that just because I know that, you know, our hope is to have, you know, more kids too, and so the next couple of years are going to be pretty focused on that
Yep.
portion of my life, and I've got 2 seasons to go before I can get back into the Masters division.
Okay.
And I think that to me feels like something I can really sink my teeth into, and I do miss it, but I've been so consumed with running business, raising the family. Like just my priorities had to shift a little bit. I didn't feel like I could bring my best self to my competitive life as an athlete, meaning like I couldn't focus on it as much as I had in the past. And I only love to focus on it like, you know, I only love to do it when I can really give it
Really
the
give
attention
it. Yeah.
it
I'm with
needs
ya.
and it deserves. And especially with like the landscape of it now being so competitive, and like there's no room to kind of just be half in. I wouldn't be as fulfilled
No.
doing it.
Yeah. The level, you know, when did you start? What was your first year?
My first year of like CrossFit Games stuff was 2010.
Okay.
So I did like a couple local comps with like my teammates at my gym. We
Yeah.
did some affiliate stuff, and then we went to the regional competition. Like you just entered. You didn't have to
Yeah, I
qualify
remember
back
that, yeah.
then. There was sectionals, which I did
Yep.
as an individual just for
From the 09,
experience,
yeah.
and then we did regionals at was it like somewhere in Los Angeles area or like.
Was
No,
it
it was
at
at-
a gym?
It was like the regionals was actually at a college. It was like Fullerton, Cal State Fullerton or something like that. Anyway, we did the team thing. We qualified like for the games that year, which was like the first year. It was at the Home Depot Center, which is
Okay.
what it was called at the time.
Yeah.
And it was super fun, super hard. I remember being at regionals and like going up against teams called Invictus and San Francisco CrossFit,
Yeah.
and like
Back in
they
the
knew what
day.
they were doing, and we were just like this random small gym team.
Yeah.
And then from then on, I think I competed every single season up until like 2016. That was my last time I was
year.
in the game. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. How we looking here? Do we want to
Yeah, let's start to load it up.
think
with
all
some-
this is kind of in the same category as?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, I had a similar 2009. We did you could just enter a team
Right.
at regionals, right? I remember they had sectionals.
I think at 2009 you
do-
could just enter a team to the games. I don't think
could
they had
you?
regionals yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. I think that the first year that the teams actually had to do any type of qualifications was 10.
10,
I could
okay.
be wrong about that.
No, you think you're right, actually.
Because 9 was
it was
Roma
10.
still.
Yeah. Yeah, 10. That was when we had a team and we were in a similar no, I wouldn't say similar, but we showed up and we're like, yeah, let's see what happens. And then we were in the mountain division, so they had people from like Chicago, all the way from Chicago coming to Colorado. And these, like you said, these were like experienced people who had already been doing this, and we didn't stand a chance, man. It was nuts. And then the sectionals were like whoever hosted it got to write the workouts.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That was cool.
That was.
And then you got to try each like Hawaii sectional. Like,
Totally.
You try all their workouts. And
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember like the one of the coaches I was kind of following at the time was hosting a regional, and he had posted these workouts, and so of course I wanted to try those, and I think it was like the Canada West or something region. But yeah, man, that was.
Who was it? It was OPT.
Yeah, it was James. Yeah. So.
And he had his like shack gym or garage gym outside.
It was it was like a house converted into a gym. So they like tore out some balls and made that nuts.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you're still in with OPT now, or what?
Yeah.
You train with him?
One of his coaches that works for him and worked with them now takes over my training, Mike Lee. But yeah, I've been with that organization for a long time. They just, I don't know, I resonated with him after like 2007, 2008, watching him as an athlete compete. To me, you know, he embodied like what a competitor, you know, I wanted to be as a competitor. Yeah. And then he was also really well spoken and had obviously like a, you know, thought a lot about fitness and was being really thoughtful about how he was, you know, coaching people. And so I just kind of climbed on board, and it's been a really great resource for me for years on like how to be a coach, be an athlete, all of that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, he's a pretty stand-up guy. Do you remember those purple weightlifting shoes that he had? Like,
yeah.
Back in the...
Yeah.
Maybe it was 07?
He's always had some interesting, you know, fashion choices. I think he was rocking the crew socks before they were cool. And... yeah, that started that. Well, I don't know if he started it. I think it was just a Canadian thing that was just always a thing that people did.
How far do you like to take these? Like, we are gonna reheat them later in the week, kind of thing.
A little further than this, I think.
Keep their color and a little bit of crunch. Keep their color,
yeah. I would actually, at this point, I would normally just throw some tamari in there now, just to get a little bit of steam, so they, you know, soften up a little bit. Cool. And if I had another pan, I would probably like throw it on top.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
You can do that. Do you want to go tamari or just steam them? Or?
We can just do steam for a minute.
Do you remember like the original, like the program, I guess you'd call it? Remember those when those came out? Yeah,
I remember when those started coming out, and just like, I mean, I was super fanboy. Like, I was totally into all the people and just watching everything that was happening. Yeah. And I kind of felt like for the years, because I did 3 years of team affiliate cup stuff, for those years, I still felt kind of like an outsider, just like I'm still a fan watching the sport. I remember making that transition to like individual competition was like, you know, felt like a massive leap for me. Thinking back to that year where we had like, I guess 2011 maybe was the first year that they introduced like everyone doing the same workouts. But 2010, when people could make up the workouts at regionals, gosh, I remember thinking about those regionals workouts, and they were just like, they just seemed so random. Like we were flipping tires and carrying logs, like, and I don't think any other region ever had any of that going on whatsoever.
It was like maybe 2 minutes under a lid, and it's like, dude, I'm brought them to life. And do tamari it or what?
Yeah, a little tamari, a little of this sesame oil.
Oh yeah, love it. Look at that color, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like in my kitchen every week.
Woo.
I think they're
good to go.
I mean,
I'd say so.
My daughter would eat those up.
She'd be all about the broccoli or what?
Yeah. And you actually, the way you cut your broccoli, that's what she likes. She likes to grab a hold of the stalk and just go for it.
Okay. So we'll transfer this. Again, we're just getting this stuff ready for meal prep plate up, we'll call it.
That's right.
Marcus, we talked a little bit about getting ahead of the ball, like preventive maintenance as far as health and wellness goes.
Yep.
And this is kind of what that looks like.
This is exactly what it looks like in the kitchen. You said like give a lot of people nutrition information and education, but then they need to see what it actually looks like to practically put it into their lives. So this
And here it is. And
Totally.
what, does it taste good?
It tastes amazing, and there's tons of color and veggies for you.
Yeah. All right, guys. So hit the produce section, get in the kitchen, and give this a try. We got Chef Marcus and Nick here with our veggie
Stir fry.